What if dark groups use shocking and disgusting imagery to try and initiate a mass hitchhiker effect on the general public? Okay, what is, to preface that, for those who aren't aware, I guess if you listen to the show, you're probably aware of all the UFO terminology. Hitchhiker effect means... They talk about it all the time at Skinwalker Ranch. You go somewhere that's a paranormal hotspot, you have an experience, it comes home with you. They talk about, it's in my dad's book, Hitchhiker Phenomenon, it's on the cover. People come to our property, they have experiences when they go home. So this is asking, to reiterate the question, are the elites or whoever putting out shocking imagery to create some sort of hitchhiker effect on the entire population? I think yes.
Yeah.
I don't see why they wouldn't.
I think to some extent... We've talked about this. We actually talked about this on What If 10, and I was like really pumped about it. Remember I said it was my favorite question, the whole revelation of the method thing. I think the whole purpose of the, let's just say Illuminati, No, say it right. Say it right.
Whoa.
You get the point. It's complicated, but there is a 1% control group, and I say 1%. What does that mean? I don't. Let's just break it down. There is a small, relatively to the population size, group of people somewhere at the highest echelons of power, manipulating the global events to have an effect on the entire rest of humanity. Okay, we can all agree on that.
Yeah.
Right? I know people get picky about who and what it is. Let's just break it down. They are, without a doubt, if you doubt this in 2023, you are closing your eyes, you are living a lie, you are living in a self-orchestrated delusion, or unfortunately you just haven't been made aware of this yet, and now you are. There is a ton of occult imagery in movies, in video games, and y'all know this, for the listener, in music, so much occult propaganda, imagery, whatever.
It's everywhere.
Why are they doing this, right?
Yeah.
I think it's to convince us that they're way more powerful and omnipotent and omniscient than they really are, scare the bejesus out of us, and make us live in fear that they're all satanic panic, devil worshippers, and they're ultimately powerful, and there's nothing we can ever do to, liberate ourselves
makes
from...
us vulnerable.
Yeah, and scared.
And so to that question, like, with all of that, like... symbolism and stuff that you're seeing, and it makes you vulnerable, it could make something, latch on to you.
Yeah.
A negative energy.
And it could be subconscious.
Well, I was also thinking, even like, you could look at it as...
lower your frequency, maybe?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say.
You
could look at it as the hitchhiker effect is just the lowering of your own frequency, which kind of sends you down a worse path. You could kind of look at it like that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I think certainly it could potentially make you more vulnerable or susceptible to being latched onto by something malicious.
Yeah.
I think that both could be true. But, we talk about, like, Aleister Crowley all the time. That Aleister Crowley. He shot me a look. I had to hit him with it. But, how we think that because like he was like in the MI6, we think that it's possible that he could be doing it intentionally
like perverting esoteric knowledge. Exactly. I really think so.
Because at first when we started doing the show, like, and we first started talking about Aleister Crowley and stuff, I asked Ryan multiple times, like, okay, so this stuff is real, right? This stuff is all real. So why is this like psycho lunatic spouting off all of this stuff that like there's also really good like people with good intentions saying the same stuff? And the only thing that really makes sense to me is like it's intentional. It's to pervert it or something to that effect.
Yeah.
And what if the hitchhiker effect, I'm sitting here thinking like, if it's simply lowering your frequency, that opens you up to other lower frequencies. So then things around you happen at a low frequency that you wouldn't recognize. And it seems like a hitchhiker, like there's an entity on me.
Exactly.
And then the same thing with like high frequency experiences make you susceptible to higher frequency experiences. So then you feel like it follows you home, but it's really your frequency's higher. So you're recognizing more.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Like, it may not literally be something latching on,
Right.
but it could just be sending you down a darker path and making things around you,
Or
happen.
even more simple, just reprogramming your subconscious belief system so that you believe about them a certain way. Like bare minimum, I think that's what they're trying to achieve. I think worst case scenarios, people could be having experiences and stuff, like actual experiences. I think that's the vast minority.
Right.
I think the vast majority is, I mean, dude, like you see it all the time, like Facebook boomers. No offense to boomers, but you see Facebook boomers all the time posting, and I was guilty of this in the past. Like when you
used to be a boomer?
No, the posting. Like when you become aware that there is this control group, I feel like the initial shock is like, dude, this is terrible. You know what I mean? They're eating babies and shit. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the initial what people believe.
God, right.
What they want you to believe. And
Why you gotta scream so loud though? You could have got your point across at a
might
lower
not-
decibel.
Are your ears
You
okay
might
out?
not have headphones on. But somebody else has headphones
Just
on.
bust his eardrums, dude.
I mean, what
You'll be
can I
all right.
say?
I mean, what can I say?
Sometimes I just look around and I'm like, what can I do to just like
Yeah, I know. I've been friends with you a long time.
shake them up a little bit?
I've been doing it to me since I was born.
It's kind of traumatizing sometimes, but I'm used to it.
But if I do it to you, then surely it does it to them.
right.
I mean, you guys are the only ones
You're diabolical, bro.
in the room with me. Like,
You are a diabolical, reformed boomer. That's what you are.
Someone was just driving to work at 5 a.m. and almost jumped out of their seat.
You just made someone almost crash their car.
Apologize right now.
Bledsoe Sensowares. I'm going to drive to work this morning. Please enjoy our smooth tunes.
The elevator music.
But it's BSS theme. Come on now.
Yeah.
No, but for real, like, I feel like, how can I say this in a way that doesn't sound like totally unhinged? Like, organize my thoughts. I think they really want people just scared of the worst case scenario.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
satanic groups sacrificing people. Bro, there's 800,000 million, whatever billion missing kids a year. They're
Yes.
being brought into underground tunnels and shit.
This brings up an important point, I think, which is that it is very important to understand the information that you're absorbing with context. Who is saying it? What is their
And
intention?
detachment.
Right, yeah, of course. Like, what is their intention in saying it? And also, like, you sometimes you gotta cross-reference and see, like, where is this information really coming from? Where's, like, the origin of this information?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because people can put dark spins on light things to try and taint it
Yes.
in ways like that. So, sometimes you gotta do a little bit of due diligence and make sure that the source,
And like, I want to make it clear, I'm not trying to insult people's intelligence. I'm not trying to sit here and tell people that they're wrong and that none of this stuff is true. What I am trying to tell people is that just don't give your joy and your peace away to these people that obviously are manipulating the entire world media for the sole purpose of causing us to be afraid. Why even sit here and think about this stuff?
Yeah.
You know
Exactly.
the story. You know the truth that there are light beings coming down. Focus on that.
Yeah.
Focus. It's like what the Buddhists say. And Bruce Lee loved this quote. Bruce Lee added this. I think it was in Enter the Dragon. He gave the quote. And this is a real Buddhist philosophy quote. It's like, think about the finger pointing at the moon. You're at the night sky and you see a brilliant full moon and its radiance is just dazzling. But you're so stuck on the fucking finger. Don't look at the finger.
look past it.
It's right there.
Yeah.
Look at the light. People are so focused on this conspiracy shit. And like, I'm not saying it's true or it's not. I'm saying, what's the point?
Exactly. That's what I was just thinking too. It kind of doesn't matter if it's true or not. I mean, sure.
Protect your light.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like you can go down this rabbit hole and feel your energy in your body like start to, go down as you're thinking about these things, and then you can snap and say, "Oh, well, right now in this moment, I'm sitting in this chair and I have a glass of water that tastes, good because I'm thirsty, and I can just walk outside and be happy and
Yeah.
not ever worry about things that I can't control, even if it's real or not."
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I used to get so mad. and so worked up about it.
Me too, bro.
Yeah.
That's why we became friends in the beginning.
Yeah.
It was what we were talking about.
That's the trap.
Exactly. That's why I say this, because I'm speaking from experience. Sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good, but it makes me think of the bell curve. You know what I'm talking about? Like you have the bell curve, and the far left is like never looked into it, never watched TV, just the simpleton, happy as could be.
Yeah.
And then you have all the conspiracy theorists in the middle, just miserable because of where they're at, and then everybody on the other side is just like, it doesn't matter.
It's all going to work out.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny that you mentioned that, Emily. I find that I have to do that exact thing that you're talking about. Like, I was even, if I read like a scary news article or something that's like makes me, there's always articles and news stories about like war. These countries coming. Yeah, or these countries are at war or all this stuff. And for a second, I'll be like, ooh, that's scary. But then I'll be like, I got Hot Pockets in the freezer. I could just go eat that. Oh, shoot, everything's good.
And people out there, just to defend your position, I've gotten I've gotten comments like on Twitter and stuff. I sometimes go on rants on there if I'm in a mood. I've been better about it lately, but sometimes I'll say some stuff about this, and I'll get comments like, "You're choosing to let the people in power win by not using your power to vote or to this or to that." But like, to me personally, I truly believe that this reality is not what it seems. It is a very funny, purely spiritual thing, and we are only seeing like a glimpse of it in our day-to-day life. And truly, and I'm not exaggerating, I'm not being funny, the only thing that matters in any person's life, I believe, is building, recognizing, fostering, protecting your individual light, and doing everything you can in your power when you're at a level to help other people see that in themselves.
Facts.
It's taking your candle, making it light, and then putting a barrier over it.
So that's Satan
cloche.
So it's protected, and then sharing it when it's appropriate with the right candle.
It doesn't matter if you participated in this election. I don't care what anybody says. You know why? Because everybody lives about 70 years or so, and then you die, and you're fucking dust in the ground being eaten by termites. And then the next, so to speak, governor dude or whoever is going to be elected in the next. None of it matters.
Right. But
it doesn't matter.
Can I add on to what you said, though, about protecting your light? I think protecting your light would also encompass protecting like what you truly believe to be right. So that kind of protects against like, I don't think, and I know you're not sitting here telling people, let people get over on you, let people take advantage of you.
I'm not saying that.
No, you're saying protect your light. And what I'm saying is I think that encompasses you got to stand up for what's right, because that's also protecting your light.
But here's the thing.
You can't get wrapped up in the political theater and play games.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying just be a little docile, like let people just like rob you blind. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying in the grand scheme of things, when we talk the media, all the hip hop artists, the Hollywood stars, the rock stars, the politicians, the billionaires, all these people that are just going to live 70 years like me and you, none of this tiny little shit matters, because all that really matters is this grand cosmic scheme of things that's all orchestrated by the stars. This age of Aquarius approaching, that we're all just little tiny little specks of dust playing out on some massive, infinitely unfathomable chessboard of events happening. It doesn't fucking matter if you go and you vote at your local politics. It really doesn't. It doesn't. You might think it matters. It doesn't. You know why? Because everyone else will too. Reality's funny. It's like a simulation. And that one person everyone else around them will. Everyone else around you will. It doesn't matter. Everyone always externally from your individual reality that you're experiencing will give their shit away to the system. So why do you? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, especially if it brings you any sort of like personal tumult or like negative thoughts or energy, like doing something like that. You shouldn't do it just because you shouldn't do anything because you feel obligated to, especially if it makes you feel bad. You should protect your peace at all costs in all scenarios. I have gone through a good bit of that where I just have to prioritize my peace above other things. And sometimes it puts you in a worse scenario in some ways. But ultimately, if your peace is intact and protected, it's all good. It's all good.
At the risk of sounding a little crazy here, like what if they, really pressure you to vote so that you have to pay attention, so you will be informed, so you're you're paying attention to the political chaos, and so you're like affected by it.
And I don't want to tell people,
voting's fine.
Break it away from the voting. It's not even about that.
No,
Right.
no.
It's about being engaged in this system that's radicalizing people, splitting them apart, and just making everybody hate. Just focus on yourself and being positive, and don't let anybody sit there and point a finger at you and be like, "Hey, bro, you need to fucking vote for so and so." Well, you need to shut the fuck up, because all that matters is I'm living the best life that I can spiritually and mentally, and taking care of myself, and I'm trying to show that to other people around me.
Love thy neighbor.
Love thy neighbor.
That's what matters.
Yeah.
It's okay to contribute by voting, though. He's not saying
that was just an example.
Right.
I'm not condemning people who.
He's just saying don't get so wrapped up in
the system.
And like forcing other people to vote because.
Yeah, forget the voting thing. I'm just saying, in
Yeah.
general, like the world out there, the big magic stage.
The material world.
You know
Shakespeare said the world is but a stage.
Mm-hmm.
This reality that we come to, the soul comes here in a physical body, and when you're born, it's like a rule to be a part of this game. It forgets all these grand cosmic rules.
Right.
And you live your life and you're like, oh shit, this system really sucks. You're like, dang, like I gotta pay to even stay here. I gotta pay taxes. I gotta pay for food.
I gotta pay if I get hurt.
I gotta pay to have a baby, bro.
Yeah.
I gotta
Yeah.
pay to just give birth.
Yeah.
You gotta pay for everything.
Yeah.
It's an evil system.
It is.
So like, forget about all that. Just focus on surviving and being just the kindest,
Being happy.
loving, most beautiful light that you can be. Who gives a shit about all that other stuff that the TV's sitting there running their fucking mouth about?
Yeah.
Forget it.
Yep.
It's rigged.
Yeah.
That's my point. I'm sorry I went on a rant, but
Dude, you're about to fight somebody.
Ryan is not anti-voters.
Ryan's about to take all those candles and throw them at people. That's exactly what his energy
and
is.
I'm being genuine because I've lived my life having fringe on the edge of reality experiences since I was a child, and desperately just wanting to shake people and show them that there's more
What
than what
matters.
you guys are
What
sitting
really
here.
matters.
I'm going to a social situation and I'm listening to the shit that people are talking about, and it hurts my soul.
Yeah.
Because there's so much more than what everybody else is talking about and
I have
thinking
a lot
about.
of friends that I have seen personally, and the elections in the last, few terms have been really, polarizing. And I have seen people on both sides be like personally very deeply moved and hurt by the elections, and like their peace is wrecked
Completely.
by this. And it's like, you can have a voice and have a vote and an opinion, and that matter. But if it's affecting your peace and your well-being, that's the issue. That's what Ryan's saying.
And your connection
Right.
with others.
Don't let it
Right.
affect your soul.
You're articulating it better than me.
Yes,
But
I'm here to clean
I
up
have
your
a point
mess.
in all this madness.
No, Ryan.
That's my Bledsoe baby.
Yes. This is my role in the Bledsoe family. No, Ryan, you're right on point though. But like your personal peace is worth protecting, and if in this situation, this conversation, the election or whatever is affecting it, you should have another look at it. You know what Dad says to me randomly? He said to me, this is not related to the election, but he said to me the other day, just randomly, like mysteriously, he was like, the world is nothing but magic.
Whoa.
I'm just like getting a sandwich. And he's like, I didn't have any sandwich stuff in my house, so I go to make one of theirs, and he's like, everything's magic.
That's facts. He just be dropping them fact bombs.
Everything is magic.
Yeah.
But think about that.
Everything's
Shakespeare's
magic.
quote, man. The world is but a stage.
Do you want to be making
it's
white
all a
magic
stage.
and living your life positively in the moment, or do you want to have black magic on yourself?
Right.
And like live in this negative space that you're creating.
No, that they are creating.
Right.
Well,
But you can create it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By feeding
True,
into it.
true.
It's both.
Well, what's crazy about like talking about your friends where their peace has been absolutely wrecked. Their peace got absolutely destroyed sitting in their living room watching TV.
That's my point.
Like turn it off.
Or
It's
the
all on
internet.
TV,
Or
like
on
the
on
internet.
their
Yeah.
cell
Turn it
phone.
off.
It's
Yeah.
out there.
It's the same thing with people like arguing about whatever online. It doesn't matter what the issue is. People just arguing with each other online and all this stuff.
If every person on the planet were to practice this and stop freaking out about stuff and to just like look inside themselves, enjoy the moment, and be authentic with that, the world would be a better place.
the world will be
And I think if a lot of people were to start doing it, it would make that momentum build.
Oh, yeah.
I just don't want
building.
people to give their power away.
Yeah.
Throw your
Right.
TV away unless you're watching
no,
us
no,
on your
no.
TV.
No, but
Unless you're watching us on your TV, then
Okay, you're sounding like
I don't know.
it sounded like some authoritarian like
I
Disney
really-
conglomerate media there, buddy.
I really like
Everybody
Ted Lasso.
only watch
Lasso's
Bledsoe
sweet.
said so.
There's a Ted Lasso episode y'all need to watch. Very.
I'm caught up.
Oh,
We're
Nick
gonna-
hasn't seen.
No, I'm
you know what I'm
saving
talking
it.
about.
I'm saving it. He
Yeah.
told me, he was like, there's a straight up.
I didn't say what happens.
Right. But he said there's an episode in the new season that is like very, very mystical.
yes.
So-
I was like, oh my god.
Which like they dropped little hints and
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
in the first
Not this
couple
season.
seasons.
It
No,
ain't
this one's
hints.
straight up.
It's
Yeah.
not hints.
I'm saving it until it's all
Yeah,
out,
yeah.
and then I'm gonna
Well-
binge it. Me and Casey are gonna binge it in a day or two.
Well,
I
thanks,
can't wait.
Captain Skippy.
Oh
thanks,
yeah,
Captain
great
Skippy.
That was
question.
our second question.
Yo, Alex.